All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Derek Long here from Quest Trust Company. Looks like my camera's just a little blurry. See if we can't fix that. I think I might have made it worse. Look at this. Gotta love it. Boop, boop. Perfect. All right. So today, I really wanted to bring in a special guest that I actually met out at the Limitless Expo out there in Arizona, around Scottsdale area. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Limitless Expo, what it really starts the deal in is bringing a lot of investors together and educating them on different topics in real estate. Now, the reason this is really important to understand is because a lot of you guys out there are my clients. You're using your self-directed IRAs, and as you use these self-directed IRAs, you're doing a lot of different types of investments. I've seen a lot of my clients do things from fix and flips and rentals, Airbnbs, wholesaling, notes, syndications, raising capital for senior living facilities, etc. You know, it doesn't matter what your investment is. There's something at a lot of expos out there that can help you out. I bring this up because Quest, we always like to host our own expo as well, which is right around the corner in September. Now, ignoring anything I'm talking about today, me as an individual or Quest as an individual, right? We love to talk about investments. We talk about investments non-stop. But I think there's a big topic that we've missed the boat on. And a lot of you guys out there have asked me consistently for this topic. So I reached out all over and I wanted to find someone very specific on it. But this really comes down to your personal bookkeeping of your investments. Bookkeeping, I think, is one of those things that a lot of times people don't consider when we're doing investments or we're trying to start our own business. But this is mainly because we're excited. We're just concerned about making money, right? We want to do that fix and flip, make that $50,000, and oh, yay, we got a lot of money in our pocket. But what about everything that came with it? What about trying to track those payments? What about tracking where we spent money? A lot of times, these are things, if we can have a good bookkeeper in place, will really help us with, honestly, finding other or additional tax deductions. This will make things cheaper for you in the long run with your CPA, whether you realize it or not. When you give your CPA a nice, clean set of books, boy, they can go through that fast. And we all know that most CPAs and tax attorneys are going to charge us by the hour. I know my CPA always charges me based on how complicated my books are. If he can go through it quick and easy, man, he's going to be a lot cheaper, which is why we need good bookkeepers. Ignoring that aspect, there's other things behind the scenes that we don't realize. Right, but having a good bookkeeper can help alleviate the IRS watching our backs. Believe it or not, when we have good books and we can go through these processes in a much easier sideways and going through those type of things, it does help just the IRS to overlook anything that you're personally doing. So what we did is like I said, I met these guys at the Limitless Expo, and they run a small company by the name of REI Bookkeeping. So Matt, Kat, how are you guys doing today?
Good. Wonderful. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing well. So I appreciate you guys coming on today. We have a lot of clients that will be watching this, especially throughout time. And we're going to keep this video up probably for at least the next year. So can you guys just give me a quick brief overview of what you guys are doing? And for any of the clients out there watching right now, feel free to ask us questions. Our questions will pop up right there on the screen. So that way we can go ahead and get to know each one of you guys and figure out how we can help you in a bookkeeping platform. So Matt, Kat, take it away.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we are the REI Bookkeepers. I'm Kat and this is Matt. And we...
Glad it's not the other way around.
Yeah, the other way around. We started the REI Bookkeepers after we realized that there were several real estate investors that did not have their books in order, and not just, like you mentioned, Derek, for tax purposes and the IRS, but also just being able to make, weekly, monthly decisions on their business. Should I buy this property? Should we go this route? That kind of thing. And just be able to see really what's happening. If you are investing in Airbnbs, you would see if your expenses and supplying the Airbnb and all of that is taking away way too much from your income that it's producing. Or if you have a traditional rental, did your tenants pay? Who's tracking that? Note payments on notes that you carry, are those being paid? And just things like that is making sure that all of that's getting collected. You're not missing a beat on anything. You have a good view of what's going on in your business and in your investments. So,
But I think that's actually a big key thing that a lot of people miss is what is going on in their business. A lot of times there's little things that a brand new business owner is probably going to miss. So what is something you guys have seen in that aspect? Something that you're like, hey, it's a brand new business owner. I know they're excited, but what is the first thing that they typically miss from a bookkeeping standpoint?
I would say first thing is mixing personal and business. That is probably the biggest thing, is commingling your personal bank accounts, personal credit cards with the business, and then to untangle all of that. If you wait months later, years later to try and undo that mess, it gets really tricky to try and go back. Memories fade, that kind of thing. So that's the biggest number one thing we see.
Wow. Now, I know you guys having a decent sized company and stuff and working with a lot of investors out there. Can you work in all 50 states or can you only work in Arizona?
So we're located in Arizona. We have clients all over the U.S. We're actually talking to some clients in other countries even. So,
wow.
So it's
nationally. Look at that.
It's getting pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So that is pretty awesome. I think one of the things is in today's day and age, we can do so much electronically. We don't need necessarily a brick and mortar business in every single state to get things done. So it's nice that you guys are able to do that. You know,
it's even more convenient a lot of times for our clients as well, because, you know, you're driving properties, you're looking at investments, you're hanging out with your family. Maybe a lot of investors have another business that, you know, they're managing or running another business and they have meetings and all these things. So to not have to go to an office is a lot of times more convenient, right? So they can jump on a Zoom, we'll do a weekly or monthly call, and we can take care of everything on the Zoom calls through email. And then everything we do is through QuickBooks Online. So we can just go on their QuickBooks Online, do what we need to do, and then have those meetings routinely.
That's actually leads right to my next topic. So what platforms is it that you guys are utilizing to help people with their books and to make sure that they're staying on track to meet whatever either their specific goals are or not commingling funds and, you know, those type of stuff?
Yeah, QuickBooks Online is the biggest one we use for the accounting software. And we'll just communicate through email, of course, and phone calls and things like that. But all of that data just gets collected there. So we typically set up, you know, user access for bank accounts so that we can be able to see what's going on in their business. That will feed into QuickBooks, and we just kind of have a good view of what's going on. We don't have to bug the client for lots of things that are coming through their bank account, which is really nice.
One of the most common questions I think I always get is, hey, I don't think I can afford a bookkeeper. I'm brand new in this business. I've only done 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals, you know, something along those lines. You know, how much does it cost, or should I really consider taking a bookkeeper on if I'm only doing a handful of deals? Like, what do you guys say to that?
I say, you know, sales trumps everything. When you're first getting started, you're doing 1, 2, 3 deals, go do deals, get nitty gritty, right? Like some of the bookkeeping, to be honest, you can forego. Like go and get deals done, get money in the door, execute the flips, the wholesales, you know, get rental income coming in, whatever that looks like. But understand by doing that, you are going to have to pay a bookkeeper to go back and clean some of that up. So if you're doing 1 or 2 flips a year, to be honest, you're probably not in dire need of a bookkeeper. I would just say have separate bank accounts for your flips and keep everything as clean as you can with 2 separate bank accounts. Or, you know, if you're doing 3 flips, 3 separate bank accounts, whatever that looks like. But once you start getting into flipping, you know, 4 houses at a time or even 3 houses at a time where you're doing 12 a year or something like that, maybe you have a decent rental portfolio on top of that, maybe wholesaling a couple, jumping into a syndication, right? As things start to get bigger, the two reasons why people typically, I say, need a bookkeeper is, one, you need to make decisions. Most of us can make decisions when we have 2 flips going, right? It's not extraordinarily difficult. Once you have 5 flips, 3 flips going at a time, and you're closing and buying another, and it starts to, you know, how much
it starts to commingle in your mind.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. All right, now we need to keep things straight. The other thing is, as you get bigger, you're oftentimes taking on private equity or getting bank loans or lines of credit, things like that. And what are the two things they're going to ask for from the bank? I need a P&L and a balance sheet. And then you say as an investor, oh yeah, I'll get that to you on Tuesday. Guess what doesn't get sent on Tuesday?
Because you wait, you delay it, you wait.
Yep.
I've done that myself.
And what ends up happening a lot of times is the investors, they feel like when they hire a bookkeeper, like it's like, I like to use the analogy, you want to clean your house before you hire the housekeeper. They feel like they need everything in order. They feel like they need QuickBooks Online, all the accounts set up, everything already categorized. And guys, this is what it needs to look like. We know that. Like, this is what we do. So we like to actually come in and clean everything up for them. So we'll get them on the right QuickBooks subscription. If they're on spreadsheets, or I've seen notes on iPhones, we'll get them set up on the right QuickBooks subscription, link all the bank accounts, and like we'll set everything up. We'll categorize everything. And during that cleanup phase, we'll do like a weekly meeting with them. Hey, this is what we've done. We give them updates. They ask us questions. We ask them questions. And just having that weekly occurrence and that weekly communication on Zoom or on the phone is, it's a beautiful way to get all of this done.
So I'm laughing at some of the things you're saying because I'm guilty of a lot of it.
Everybody.
Yeah. And I know my CPA must just absolutely hate me.
Oh, no.
And one other thing you just mentioned is, and I really actually appreciate it, because I think too many times a lot of people stuck with a salesperson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh, well, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I think you nailed it. Like, hey, look, man, if you're only doing one deal a year or 2 deals a year, you probably don't need a service like what you guys provide.
Right.
Ignoring that, though, if you want to scale your business,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're out there and you're listening, you're like, man, how do I get to that next level? How can I do more rentals? How can I pick up more fix and flips? That's really where that bookkeeping starts to come into play, because it leaves people like, myself or any other type of entrepreneur to be able to make the decision that's going to help them grab that next deal when you can take that off their plate. So I think a lot of times we miss that type of stuff.
And to make it just a little bit more concrete is when you're executing a real estate deal, there are 9 steps. We're all, if we're doing real estate, we're good at getting the deal, right? We're good at planning. What kind of renovations are we going to do? Even minor or extreme. Maybe it's just a cleanup. Maybe we're doing a full demo. We're good at, getting lines of credit or hard money. We're good at selling the deal, listing it with the realtor, marketing it, cashing a check. The one that nobody does, and the reason why so many people run into those headaches, is they're not doing the bookkeeping, which is like step 7, right? Like, we need to do the bookkeeping of these deals, because that one thing, we've seen people doing 2-3 deals at a time, and they're like super frustrated, super stressed out. How do I grow? How do I scale? And they're like, oh, KPIs, CRMs, more marketing, more this, more that, right? And we're like, they come to us, we'll clean up their books. And next thing you know, they're doing 6 flips at a time, right? They triple, they quadruple their business.
You're able to take that stress off them of something that they're just not good at.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got a question here from JC, and he says, any tips for solo 401k bookkeeping? Now, I love this question because a lot of times people mix up, they're, hey, look, I have a 401k, I have an LLC, or I have a trust, or I have a C Corp, I have an S Corp. A 401k being just another entity, you're able to provide bookkeeping for anyone's entity if they're going to be doing real estate deals and stuff in it. Is that correct? It doesn't necessarily matter what the entity is.
Right. Yeah. So if it's LLCs are the most common, right? But if you're also using a 401k, or trusts are getting really big as well for protection and risk mitigation, whatever the entity is, the deals and what's happening with the transactions is still the same. So that's correct.
Yeah. And what I would say, just if you're doing it on your own, if you're doing your own bookkeeping, use a software. Do not use spreadsheets, right? The problem with spreadsheets are great for like some calculations and this and that. Like, we use spreadsheets to export data out of QuickBooks and, figure some things out.
Absolutely.
But the problem with spreadsheets is you can either double book transactions or miss transactions completely. So you don't have the ability to reconcile any accounts. If you are using your solo 401k, you have a bank account, or however you connect that account when you set it up, it's going to allow you to categorize transactions, and it's going to allow you to reconcile at the end of the month. So I would 100% recommend QuickBooks Online, and just stay on top of it. Make sure you get a good chart of accounts. If you need one, shoot us an email, and we can send over a chart of accounts to make sure that you have that.
Yeah. So guys, if you're out there, I have Matt's email right here on the screen right now. So make sure you do shoot him an email. But let me ask you something real fast about QuickBooks.
Yeah.
So me, Derek Long, I have my LLC, I have my solo 401k, and I'm going to go ahead and get that QuickBooks subscription.
Awesome.
Can I pay for that? Or do you guys find that it's more common to have the business cover that expense because it is really for the business?
100% for the business. Yeah. There are so many things that you can use as deductions, which is amazing because ultimately a lot of people, especially on here, are looking for ways to reduce their tax liability, and things like that, like subscriptions that help your business, all that kind of stuff. Throw it in with the business 100%. It will help.
With that being said, guys, I know a lot of you out there have solo 401ks here with Quest. So pretty much if you have a solo 401k and you're using those 401ks to purchase properties, do notes and things, and you need a QuickBooks subscription for that 401k, it probably is going to make sense to have the 401k cover that cost.
Yeah.
Think about that, guys. We can actually use this stuff to avoid things like either taxes, penalties, distributions, additional 1099s, 5498s, 5500 forms, all that stuff. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, talk to your CPA about it or just give me a call. But ultimately, when did you guys start your business? Because you guys are so young, you know, compared to sometimes I see the CPA and he's like 70 years old. Question, you know? But you guys are so young. So how long have you been in business now?
Yeah, we've been in business for 3 years now. And prior to that, I was doing bookkeeping already, and just realized that lots of people needed it. So we started our business.
So I was working at a real estate investment firm where I was buying deals and then I was selling deals. And after about a year of doing that, I was like, all I got to do is pay for marketing and I'm rocking my own thing, right?
Right.
So I went off and I did my own thing, and Kat at the time was doing what she said, the transaction coordination, the bookkeeping, admin assistant, all these things. She's like, I want out of this as well. I was like, all right. And at the time she had a couple bookkeeping clients on the side. And so I was like, well, let's just form an LLC, start a business. And, you know, we wrote down like a, 4 or 5 page, 6-month plan. 2 months later, I looked at our plan and I was like, oh shoot, you got to quit your job this week. like we made our plan. And all of our clients have, none of them have reduced the amount of business they're doing because they have good bookkeeping, right? They all end up doing more books. They all end up getting more lines of credit. They all end up.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
So the only reason I bring that up is I made a big mistake 2 years ago. I was making I finally started doing a lot of my own deals, buying rentals and doing some notes and stuff like that. And it was my first year I ever had to actually hire a CPA. And when I hired this CPA, guys, like, because it was more than just W-2 income, I was like, well, who do I go? And I asked my dad. My dad gave me his CPA. Well, the thing is, my dad's been using the same CPA for 30 years. The guy's definitely older, right? He does a good job, but the problem is I'm not going to be able to grow with him. And I learned very quickly that he didn't want to deal with my stuff because he's trying to retire. He's trying to get out and he's trying to get away from this stuff. Yeah. So the fact is when I started to look for my own CPA and my own attorney and my own, bookkeepers, I probably want to go with a company that I can grow with. Someone who's going to be with me for a long period of time. And I feel like that's you guys, right? Like any one of our clients can reach out to you because you're going to be around for a long time. You're not I don't see you guys, retiring anytime soon, especially I But would that be a safe assumption?
Yeah, absolutely. We get that all the time is, some of the people that start with a few investments and their full intention is to grow. They're like, well, I can't pay a huge amount for a bookkeeper right now because I am only doing a handful of deals. What is it going to be like when I'm doing more, or, I get partners and things like that. And we advocate for our clients all the time. We say all the time that we can grow with you. Of course, as your volume grows, we can scale up with you. And that's just something that's really awesome that we're able to offer our clients.
And you're 100% right. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of years left to do
Yeah.
that work. So we're not retiring next year.
You always, guys out there, if you're looking for someone, you want to make sure you can grow with them, someone that will be on your team long term. I think that's a problem a lot of younger investors or new business owners seem to make. So does it cost anything if I want to just schedule a consultation with you or meet with you guys or something like that, so you can, I can get to know you or anything like that?
No, that's one thing that we find, we want to help people, right? We're here to help, and it's a double-sided thing, right? We want to make sure we're working with the right client, and we want to make sure the client's working with the right bookkeeper. So totally free. The link's right here. It's calendly.com, and it's /the REI Bookkeeper Matt /15min. If you can, just copy and paste it, put it in your URL, schedule a consultation with me. We'll go over things, right? And there's no obligation. It's totally free. We'll jump on. We'll go over your business. We'll deep dive. I'm going to ask you some hard questions. I'm going to dive in. You're going to feel a little bit embarrassed because you're like, oh, I haven't been doing this for the last 2 years. Nobody has. You're in the same boat as everybody else. We're used to it. If you came to me and you were like, oh, this is what I'm doing this, boom, 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 I'm like, cool, you don't need us, right? Like, what are we here for?
So guys, I do think that one of the best ways to scale your business is to honestly be organized. To help get organized, you need to have those bookkeeper in place. So too many times we only focus here on the investment side. We only focus on, oh, what's my rate of return? What are my deals? What is the next step? Right? Well, if I want to scale that business, you probably need a company just like REI Bookkeepers. So I put your phone number up here on the screen just a little bit ago. Is this an automated line? Is this a non-automated line? Like who if I call this number right now that's on the screen, who am I going to get a hold of?
It'll either be Kat or myself.
Yeah.
If we are working or, we're on a call with somebody else, you'll get a voicemail, leave a voicemail. We'll give you a call back. Yeah, I mean, it's us. We have one assistant. We have a team we have Kat, another bookkeeper, and we're bringing on another bookkeeper. So we'll have 3 bookkeepers total, an assistant and myself. So we run lean and mean. Quality is way more important to us than quantity. So that's why we do those free consultations, is we really want to make sure we're bringing on the right clients. We want to make sure that we're, not bringing somebody on that we're not able to help. So when you call us, you get us.
I love it. So guys, any last minute advice or anything like that, or, just some direction you can give to our clients out there that are going to be seeing this, whether they watch it today or watch it in the future, any last minute, words of wisdom?
Yeah.
My only words of wisdom right now as an investor are, the market is super questionable right now, right? Like, a lot of people are, what's going on? What do we do? Are prices going up, down? Is the Fed raising the interest rate? In a year, we're going to have the answer to all these, but right now it's like, what do we do? So if you have complete convolution in the market and in your own business, because you are unorganized and you don't have straight books and you can't look at accurate data, you cannot make accurate decisions. So, make sure you get accurate data. Make sure you have a great bookkeeper. Make sure you're constantly looking at this every single month, rather than at the year end when you look at the bottom of your taxes and you say, oh, I made $400,000 or whatever you made, right? Like, that is no way to run your business. That's no way to make decisions or navigate today's market.
Yeah, I would say my advice is just along the lines of organization as well, is when you're running your business and trying to keep things separate, the little things are what matters. So keeping those separate bank accounts, keeping a specific credit card for your business or entity, whatever you're running it through, just keeping those things separate and taking the correct steps, no matter how small they are, to make sure that you're doing everything correctly, matters 100%. It'll help you so much in the long run.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on here today. I really do. As we end this, don't go anywhere, right? So just stay on and hang out with us for just a couple of minutes. But
Sure.
make sure everyone out there reaches out to REI Bookkeepers. They specialize for all you real estate investors, for all you small business owners in your bookkeeping needs for your real estate transactions. It is unbelievably important. It'll help you find additional tax deductions. In addition, it'll keep you out of trouble with the IRS. It really will. So make sure you reach out to Matt and Kat. So guys, I appreciate you coming on. I got the phone number right there listed on the screen. So thanks everybody.
Perfect.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Kat.
Bye.